like, you scared one of our employees. What do you mean she scared her? What do you mean she's scared? So these like beauty expos, beauty events can be a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot going on. There's loads of different brands. Like they're doing like games so you can win free lip gloss and all this kind of stuff. People asking you to come over to them to discover their brand. There's a lot going on. They're often quite overcrowded. They're quite busy depending what time you go. There's a lot of waiting around. You're given a lot of bags. It's quite overstimulating, I would say. And usually there's quite a friendly vibe. However, I do go as an influencer to like influencer exclusive openings. So the brands know they're dealing with influencers who have been invited to these events. And it's different vibes for different events, right? It's like big things like that. Little dinners, strange events. They're all very, very different, right? So we're looking at a story time today from Tandy, where she goes over her experience at the Natural Beauty Expo in London. If you've ever heard of the event before, it's basically like a business-to-business type deal where brands come together to show off their natural products. You know how I feel about all these natural products. They kind of like show them to each other and they get some pictures so they look good on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is this whole thing. This company, right, we'll leave a link down below, make it super clear across their social medias that they aren't open to the public and only accept businesses, so much so that all their socials are completely private, which I found really strange. I don't know why you'd want it to be private. They invited Tandy out to their expo they had as an influencer so that she could show the event off and promote some of the products that were going to be given away, which is really strange. It's a good idea, but it's really strange because you have all these private profiles. What are they going to click on? How are they going to find out the information? Then you're leaving all that down to Tandy, poor girl. Okay, so let me play you this video. This says on the screen, when a Karen manhandles you, calls security and kicks you out on an event you were invited to as an influencer.
This is different. This lady's just leaving and she's videoing me as she goes. No, I'm fine, but imagine being invited to a natural expose as an influencer to connect with organic brands and promote their products, to only be kicked out, embarrassed, and manhandled by a Karen who accused me of excessive sample collecting because I had a trolley with me. I apologized, said I didn't know, and that I was let in with her. She says, well, you shouldn't have been let in with her, and then proceeded to kick me out still. She refused to speak to me like a human being. With a smug grin, she just kept repeating T's and C's. I asked to leave because apparently I can't get samples. And it was like, well, if they're giving samples out, why wouldn't I be able to collect them? Yeah. You know what I mean? This woman approached me by taking the lanyard off of my neck and then with the same smug grin said, I'm not allowed to be here with a trolley and I'm getting kicked out. She accused me of excessive sample collecting and kept saying T's and C's. I tried to explain that I was an influencer and brands were giving me stuff to promote. I lifted the trolley to show it was light and there wasn't a lot in there. I tried to explain that I got bruises from the last bag, so I really wanted to use the trolley today. But she would not have a dialogue with me at all. I had already agreed to leave, but she still called security on me like I was some threat. And now when security actually took me aside and searched me like I was a petty criminal, she opened the trolley and saw 2 cereal boxes. Immediately said, oh, there you go. I said, sir, that was given to me by the company because they want me to promote. I am an influencer. This is why I'm here. He ignored me, continued looking through the trolley. And when he saw there was nothing in there, he said, okay, whatever, you can go. So let's talk T's and C's. 1 bag per visitor. From this footage, how many people can you count with 1 bag? First day, I had 3 bags, as did everybody else. If the company isn't adhering to their own T's and C's, exactly why should anybody else? Because as I was being searched like a criminal, people with multiple bags were passing me by. When I, in fact, had 1 bag's worth in a trolley I was let in with. I emailed the event organizer that invited me last night. Her response was, thank you for your email. I'll pass your feedback on to the team. To say the least, I'm thoroughly disgusted with how I was treated before and after.
What a weird situation. I just want to say, okay, petty warning. If you don't like it when I'm petty, please skip parts. But listen, I'm a makeup artist. I can't help but notice these things. If you're going to work out a beauty expedition, let's match our foundation correctly to our bodies, right? To our faces. You can't be red and yellow. Well, you can, but that's called neutral. Okay, So, a bit of a strange situation. If you're a bit confused about the trolley situation, trolleys are these. I call them old person trolleys because it's easy for older people to pull these around, and they take it when they go shopping, grocery shopping, food shopping. They put their stuff in there because it's easy to carry stuff. Let me tell you, you might think she might be overreacting. Tandy might be overreacting about the bruises on her arm carrying those bags. They give you, at these places, so many bags. Even if it's just one, actually, they are huge and they hurt and they are heavy, right? You know there's a lot of product in there. And I've been to one, a Superdrug one, where they give you a huge bag at the end. It's great. It's a great experience. But the bags are so heavy, you end up kind of dragging it along the floor. It gives you those pinch marks. You know when you go food shopping, you try and carry all your bags to your car, and then you have to carry them from the car to the house, and you get those marks? It hurts. It does hurt. And sometimes the bags are made from like Hessian and like natural materials, so you're also getting burnt. These trolleys aren't out of place, especially somewhere like London. And people from young ages, like university students, college students, up to senior citizens, use these trolleys because they are super practical. To kick someone out because you think they're excessive sample take. Let me tell you as well, if I have been invited by a company to show off this expo, whatever it is, you bet I'm going to hit as many places as I can, as many stands, as many tables, whatever you want to be called. And if they give me a sample, I will take the sample because then that's more content. Samples I got from this expo. Here's the stuff from this expo. She's been invited there to literally take samples and show what you're gonna get. You know, it's very confusing. So to say she's excessively taking samples when people are walking around with 4 or 5 different bags. And most of the reason why most of these businesses are there are to give out these samples anyway, and to promote the brand. And as I said, so many people had so many different like sample bags. Also, this lady who worked for the EXO took Tandy's lanyard off her neck and had her escorted out. That is insane. It's so unprofessional, so disgusting. And then, like, to the person who worked there, you're filming for what? You're not an influencer. Where are you going to post this content of a person attending an event that you are working for? Where are you going to post that footage? Of you kicking someone out for doing less than what other people are doing. It must have been embarrassing. It must have been really, really embarrassing to be escorted out and then searched.
Hey guys, so I have an update for you. So I've created a LinkedIn. It's Tandy SSB. So you can go follow me over there. They have now blocked me on all platforms. And they have made their TikTok private. So that's basically been their response, is to block me on everything and to delete everybody's comments. Doing all of that instead of just apologizing is crazy work.
Yes.
And from an events company, you wouldn't think they would have such diabolical people skills. Because if the lady who I emailed simply apologized when I first emailed and raised the complaint, this would have never happened.
Yeah.
But you would rather do all of this rather than contact me to just merely apologize. I find it very strange. This world is very, very strange. I will say one more thing about the people kind of making fun and saying, oh, are you an influencer? La, la, la. The one thing I'm going to say is that the event that I was invited to was called Influencing Natural Beauty or something like that. I'll put it on screen. But even if I was to call myself an influencer, so what? You know, if you're offended by it, then be offended, honestly. Have your opinion. I really don't care. It's thank you to everybody's support. You guys really, really backed a girl up. Thank you for all your love and your support and taking this company to task because, yeah, they really, really can't get away with thinking that that was okay treatment, you know, and even how they dealt with it afterwards. That's not okay treatment. You know, at any point, they could have treated me and spoken to me like I was a human. It's front facing. It's the public facing. So I don't know. I feel like maybe we need to have a meeting about people's skills and dealing with and treating people like humans. Thank you so much for helping me to resolve this. And yeah, as I said, I will keep you updated if there is any more developments.
Wow. So a brand, rather than just apologizing and say, listen, we've had a serious word with this employee. We don't quite understand what they were thinking. Blame the intern, as they always do. We really, really do apologize. Can we make it up to you with something? Or I doubt you want anything to do with them again. But so instead of doing all of that, they delete comments, they turn comments off, they put their profiles on private, and so there's a difference. From that video you saw that the profile was almost non-existent. So there's the way where you have to request to follow them, and then there's also just getting rid of your profile, almost like not deleting it, but deleting it from the public eye. That's insane. Another case of brands trying to dodge accountability, right? This is exactly why this video is being made, because that is not something that we are going to let happen in 2025. Again, she's talking about people skills and how aggressive this woman was to her, taking off her lanyard. The fact that these people who work at this expo are representing large companies and behaving towards people like this, maybe it's their first influencer event and they don't quite understand that the gifting process. Not that influencers should go in and just be given loads of free stuff, but if they're providing content for you, you have asked them to do so, then what's going on here? She was literally invited to show people what they're gonna get. Okay, so after these two videos blew up, Tandy obviously got a lot of support and a lot of people agreed with her that the treatment she got from this event was just like flat out not okay, apart from one of the event organizers, right? Here we go. So this video is in response to a comment Tandy got on TikTok. It says, "This is not a press event. It is a B2B, business to business, retailer show where heavy sample taking is not allowed." Can we just bear in mind, she's already said she had like 2 samples.
Shauna, you are the person who invited me to the event. Shauna, you are the person who organized the press event and invited all of the influencers to that said event. Shauna, I didn't realize that you, as the press event organizer, was the one who left this comment. Shauna, as the press event organizer, you yourself gave us gift bags and then told us to go round and talk to other brands.
Stop.
At this point, Shauna, I'm gonna need you to make this all make sense to me, because it was you, Shauna, that watched every single influencer that you invited to that event leave that arena with way more than one bag. I wasn't even going to mention you by name in any of this, because I didn't necessarily believe that any of it was your fault. Yes, I thought that your email to me was inappropriate and was in defense of your colleague, but I didn't necessarily blame you for any of this. But seeing as you want to announce yourself in my comments, replying to anybody else's comment except for mine, or doing the professional thing, which was responding to my email in an appropriate manner, you can be called out directly too. Because quite frankly, Shauna, as I stated, you were the one who watched every single influencer that you invited to that event leave that venue with more than one bag. Both you and your managing director talked to me about terms and conditions that nobody else was expected to follow except me. You tell me, as all of the T's and C's in the world, as an event organizer, why was I let in to that venue with the trolley in the first place, if on pain of me being discovered with it, I could be ejected? And finally, Shauna, I want you to know that if you had responded to my email detailing and complaining about my treatment with any form of humanity, dignity, professionalism, or sincerity, that none of this would be currently happening.
What's she got in her eyes here? This is beautiful. What's this like shimmery eye? So listen, are we thinking this Shauna person might have gotten in trouble for arranging the press event side of things and samples and then tried her best to like damage control when someone wasn't happy about it? To be, again, a person who is part of the company putting this together, part of this event, to then go onto TikTok after the whole situation has happened and respond to people's comments in Tandy's comment section, but not reply to any of Tandy's comments or talk to her directly in these comments, so unprofessional. Really, a really, really stupid idea, right? And then to find out that this person was Shauna invited Tandy to this event? Come on, is it not her job to set expectations and rules for the event? We have an update.
Hi, Tandy. I'm following up on the issues you had at NOPEX and would love a chat. as I'm really sorry about your experience, but also wanted to explain why our policy has become so strict. We make mistakes, and I truly want to apologize for that. I know it wasn't meant to, but your post has caused great anxiety for a staff member who has been inundated with social media requests from unknown people.
Stop.
She is incredibly scared, which I know wasn't your intention. I would love to have a chance to hear from you, to discuss it, and to see how we can work together to make things easier. You have my trust, confidence, and sincerest apologies, and I think we owe it to each other. I hope I hear from you, Carsten, Managing Director. Hello, Carsten. May I ask your position in the company? I'd first like to say that I'm extremely disappointed in how this is all handled, but I'm now not impressed that the first thing you do is try to guilt trip me about Caroline being scared. What exactly is she scared of? The consequences of her actions? Because she felt perfectly fine to pull me aside like a dog by the lanyard without even introducing herself. She felt fine to embarrass me in front of everyone, especially the brands, and frog march me out. She felt fine to not enter into any cordial dialogue with me. She felt even better when she called security on me and I was searched like a criminal for products gifted to me in front of everyone. She was extraordinarily aggressive towards me unprovoked. But I must now feel sorry because of mean and questioning comments? After everything and how I've been treated, I could honestly care less how she feels. Accountability from those who run from it is inevitably hard on them. Ooh. But at any point she wants to make a public apology to me, she's welcome. Now, in regards to you and I having a conversation, I'm happy to, if you agree it can be recorded. This is public now, and so must your response. Regards, Tandy. Thank you, Tandy, for your reply.
Okay, not Tandy, it's Tandy. Listen, yeah, absolutely, I absolutely agree. We make mistakes is crazy. Listen, as a business, and listen, I've worked in retail, restaurant. I've done so many jobs, so I know the customer experience versus the actual, experience of the brand, all this kind of stuff. As a business, it would really, really do you good to just be like, we are so sorry about this whole situation. How can we make this up to you? Here's what we can do. Sorry. Instead of trying to be like, you've scared one of our employees. What do you mean she's scared her? What do you mean she's scared? So, as she says here, marched out, searched because she had a trolley with her and had like 2 samples in it when she was invited and told to go around and take samples like everyone else. We haven't heard any other stories from this expedition. Expedition? Is that what they're called? Exhibition, expo, whatever, where people were searched. It's only her. Why is it only her? And you're like gonna be like, we know we embarrassed you, we know you were treated incorrectly, we know you were treated poorly and pulled aside, but at the same time, someone's scared because they're getting friend requests. Decline them. Listen, I get death threats. I'm not scared. Sometimes it just sounds like you're... And actually, what did she say? Something about accountability or response. So, spot on. But now they also want to like explain why their policy is so strict. So which is it? They're like, oh, we make mistakes, but also... So they're like, oh, we make mistakes, but at the same time, they're like, oh, but can we also explain why our policy is so strict? So what happened? You made a mistake? Or the policy is strict? So which is it? So Tandy's post has called anxiety for a staff member. They didn't seem to care about getting physical or embarrassing Tandy in public at a public event. We owe it to each other. We owe it to each other. Considering Tandy has done nothing but speak up about, at what best seems like unprofessionalism and being treated badly by staff, right? It could possibly be something a little bit deeper than that, considering Tandy here was the only person to have been pulled aside. Ridiculous. This is a crash course in, as a business, how not to deal with being held accountable. So this is in response. Somebody commented, so much of that email is oozing microaggressions. You are not responsible to coddle grown people to their emotions and their, repercussions of their actions. Honestly, what year are we in, man? And then this is now a response to Tandi's email.
Thank you, Tandi, for your reply. I am the MD of Diversified, the organizer. I would love to discuss this with you. To put this in context, in recent years, we have had big problems with people bringing trolleys to the show floor to take excessive samples, which has made exhibitors very upset.
So why didn't they see her trolley? If this is a big situation, let me tell you something. So a shop I used to work in, a makeup shop we used to work in, there was a point in time where it was like this shoplifting trend in London to bring in a newspaper, because every day you would get a free newspaper from the tube stations, right? The Metro. People would bring in the Metro and roll them up and then kind of hold them a little bit tighter at the end. And they'll walk around. It was a common thing to be holding this newspaper. And they would roll it up and they might shove a foundation in there, a lip pencil, an eye pencil, something small that can fit in this rolled up newspaper. So we were briefed nearly every morning and told, like, guys, watch out for people with newspapers. Just watch them closely. If they steal something, don't interact with them, you know, your safety. But customer service them. Keep badgering them until they feel uncomfortable to steal, right? If you've seen them actually shoplift. So if something is so important as people with trolleys are excess sample taking, are the team not briefed on this? Are security not briefed on this? Do you have to show a wristband or an invite before you get in? And can be like, I'm really sorry, trolleys aren't allowed. Perhaps they have a cloakroom. We can keep it aside for you. You know?
So we had to put a blanket policy on visitors bringing wheelie bags, which is posted on our conditions. It's something we feel sad about, but a policy we were forced to implement.
But also as well, you as a company should be enforcing those things. If you know and you are aware of your own company's terms and conditions, why aren't they being enforced before Tandi got into that arena, whatever?
And I hope you appreciate how difficult it is for us. The time at the end of the show is particularly sensitive, as this is when most of the activity takes place. I'm sorry you felt picked upon, but we did not see you bringing the trolley into the show.
How?
And would have asked you not to, and that's where it all went wrong. I'm sad to hear that you don't feel sympathy for my colleague. She knows she could have dealt with the situation better. And she certainly didn't mean to be rude. She's devastated and...
What do you mean she didn't mean to be rude? She got her camera, her phone out and started filming and was like doing this really annoying smug smile. What do you mean she didn't mean to be rude? And then also telling, you know, somebody, an influencer or anybody, whoever they are, oh, you should feel sympathy for... No.
Even if she could have handled things better, I don't think she deserves this. I'm sure you agree.
No, she doesn't.
She is the kindest, most caring person, although I understand and that is now what you saw. I'm sincerely...
That's what you experienced.
Sorry you don't feel at all great about the situation. I would really love to be able to explain further, but this is not a public conversation. And just as I care for you, I care for my colleagues. Do feel free to give me a call, Carsten. Carsten, I would like to first address the policy. As far as what I am concerned, my invitation was 2 pages long and did not have any of those terms and conditions on it. Now, after all of this and trying to actually search for any correspondence that has your terms and conditions in it, I found a singular sentence on the back of the lanyard that said 1 bag per customer. Carsten, since you want to tell me that the reason what happened to me happened is because of your terms and conditions, I would like for you to explain to me, well, as I have shown the footage,
4
multiple people leaving that venue with more than 1 bag. I would really like for you, as the MD, to tell me why, if on pain of me being discovered with a trolley, I was going to be ejected from the premises, that the people that you hired at that door didn't stop me before entering. Now, if this is a new policy, Caroline knew I was an invited guest. Why not pull me aside and say, sorry, but this can't actually be in here. I'm happy for you to leave it at the door and go around, but we can't have this on the floor for the reasons that you described.
But what I find really strange as well, right, is everybody around Tandi is clearly excessive sample taking. They're taking loads of bags and walking around with them pretty blazing. Clear visual evidence of that happening. However, this person, staff member, chooses Tandi and goes over to her and accuses her of excessive sample taking, when in fact she hasn't. There's no visual cue that she is. There's no proof that she has excess sample taken. It's just assumptions. And she decided to act on those assumptions quite brazenly and then taking like video footage of her like she had done it. Yet you're going to do something that could cause public embarrassment for absolutely no reason. So just in the first video that Tandy posted, if we remember, you could literally see the security at the door. Security would have had to be informed that trolleys were not allowed, like I said. And to even be a security guard in the UK, you need your SIA license, which involves hours of being trained to spot bags and anything remotely suspicious, right? There was no way that they did not spot it. Absolutely not. And even working with security guards, again, in retail, you could see them watching and looking. They are very, it's a job where you have to be very visually aware, right?
Over to me, picked up my lanyard, scanned it, removed it, and then told me I'm not allowed to have the trolley in here and I have to leave. When I explained to Caroline, oh, I'm sorry, I really didn't know that was part of the rules. I'm happy to leave it at the door. She said to me, it's T's and C's. I lifted the trolley to show her that basically there was nothing inside it, but at no point was she ever willing to have a civil conversation with me. To the point where instead of having any civilized dialogue with me, she called security on me.
Insane.
Do you have any concept of how humiliating and embarrassing in front of brands I've literally just walked over and spoken to?
Yeah.
To have security come and escort me out. The same security that let me into the venue with the trolley and search me. Please tell me what they were looking for. Because obviously inside of that trolley were the things given to me by the brands. But you, Carsten, in your very first message to me, decided to try and gaslight me into feeling sorry for the aggressor who had no civil ability to be cordial, nice, or even professional. Carsten, when I said to you that this conversation must be public because it is public, that wasn't a negotiation. And I do not appreciate, in fact, I think it's wholly unacceptable for the very first thing you do is tell me that the person who embarrassed and humiliated me unduly and unfairly based upon your own policies that were being flouted in front of me, and I have video evidence of, to tell me that she is the kindest, warmest, most lovely person who doesn't deserve this. I didn't deserve what happened to me, Carsten.
100%.
Why should I honestly care about Caroline's crocodile tears? And Caroline didn't care that when I got home that night, I actually cried out of shock for what happened. Does Caroline care about that? Because if she cared one little bit about anything but herself, the first thing she would have done on realizing she had made an error, if she does indeed know she made a mistake, was reach out to me and apologize personally. So if she's so sorry and knows she did something so wrong, why hasn't that happened yet? And the fact that you as the managing director don't have the people skills to address the victim with any form of appropriateness says everything I need to know about your entire organization.
Yeah. She makes such a good point. Why did they search her trolley if it was just the trolley itself that was the issue? What were they insinuating? That she's going around taking maybe more than one bag, like everybody else? Okay, this is our final video. And Tandy's replying to a comment, I can't believe they haven't just apologized. There's video footage. Yes.
Hi, Tandy. I hope you are well today. Firstly, I need to apologize for the delay in responding to the email that you sent to Shana about your experience at the Natural and Organic Products Expo. I have been out at events all week and got back late last night. Having read your email, I understand how upset you feel. I am so sorry you were treated like that and how it left you feeling. On behalf of myself and all of the team of Diversified, I would like to apologize. We are fully investigating the situation and take your complaint extremely seriously. If you would like to have a chat and talk it through, please let me know. Kindest regards, Sam. Sam, I would like to say to you firstly, thank you. You are the first and only person in that entire organization that spoke to me with any form of appropriateness. You're the only person who focused solely on I as the victim of something that actually happened. You're the only person who fully and sincerely apologized to me for what happened. And for that, I thank you. Unfortunately, due to the absolute diabolical way the rest of your staff has handled this, there's been far too much water under the bridge. From Georgina spamming my comments, to Shana inappropriately messaging people in my comments instead of directly addressing me, to your MD, Charleston, who decided to gaslight me into feeling sorry for the aggressor without taking any accountability for the fact that your policies were being flouted in front of my face, to Caroline, who has yet to reach out and apologize. And now, the only apology I accept from Caroline is a public one. So Sam, I will say this much to you. Whoever you are in that organization, I hope you become the leader of it, because you are the only person who had any decorum or professionalism. So once again, thank you for a correct and appropriate response to my formal complaint. I hope whoever you are, if not in charge, become in charge, because that company needs serious help from the top down.
I agree. I completely agree. I don't think they're investigating it though. I think they're just saying that because they're like, oh, we'll investigate it. Investigate what? It's there. It's there. Behavior like this publicly really does give us a look at how these places are managed internally. You know what I mean? I think this whole situation has been dealt with so badly, and I really wanted to talk about this because I've seen a lot of things happen online recently where influencers are attending events, quite like small events, pop-ups and things like that, and are being kind of like mistreated and lied to and told things are going to happen that aren't going to happen. And listen, you might be like, influencers, a lot of influencers or content creators who attend these events don't get paid. Not to attend the events I'm talking about. They don't get paid to influence or content create in general. They're doing it either for the love of doing it, it's a hobby, or they're you know, trying to work on their social media. If you as a company are going to invite people to events, no matter how big they are with a following, no matter how small they are following, you should have equal amounts of respect for everyone, especially if they have been invited to this event. And it's not even about following, it's not even about numbers, you know what I mean? You could have 2,000 followers, and if all 2,000 people are watching your content, that's a good number. Everyone is interested in what you are saying. But to be treated like this, after being invited to an event personally, handed and told, go around and talk to everyone, and then not apologizing when all you literally have to do is be like, we are so sorry that happened. Can't believe that happened. We really do apologize. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to say. But yet you drag it on and be like, oh, can you consider the feelings of this person, who was literally acting like an idiot, acting like a smug person in that video, smiling and taking, when you have no backing of what you're doing. Insane. Go and follow Tandy on everything, and you can find her on TikTok. It's something beauty, which I love. Tandy Beauty and Lifestyle. She does a lot of skincare, hair stuff is in there too, and she attends a lot of pop-ups. So if you want to see how they usually go, then go ahead and give her a follow. And there is actually some further updates on her TikTok page about this. I'm sure they'll be on Instagram too. I need to know everyone's opinions on this because this is crazy. Thank you for joining me. Consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.